I'm Kate Kennedy, and I founded PeachCraft Studios of Dramatic Arts, Creative Voice and Filmmaking in 2005 after 16 years in Los Angeles as a casting director for the studios. And I cast movies. I don't know if any of you remember Joy Luck Club was my first film. And then I made a movie, When a Man Loves a Woman, with Andy Garcia and Meg Ryan, and Mortal Kombat, Austin Powers. I've worked with some really illustrious actors and directors over my career and had a very successful, fun time making movies. And then I got called to come home and take care of the family. So I drove across country with my cat and dog in the car, and which was a real kind of little animal festival. You can imagine how that was. And I came on home and found an amazing brownstone building in Summit, New Jersey, right outside of New York City. And I built a studio, an artist development studio for actors, singers, and filmmakers. And right away, I found out that there was a niche for what I had to offer, because most of the children in this area are training and developing themselves for Broadway, which is very specifically musical theater. So, and I come from a background of training actors for on camera, for film and television, and then classical acting technique for theater as well. So I built the studio and then started a school and I had 120 families a year. And we'd have 3 sessions and then a summer program going. And the ages are from 9 to 18, with adults coming in the evening. And our actors and the casting directors from Los Angeles would sometimes call me and say, "Oh, I'm looking for this," or "I'm looking for that, and we can't find this, we can't find that in our film all over the world in the United States." And I would happen to have someone in the studio that might fit the role, and I was able to audition them and submit them. And sometimes they would win the role, which was really exciting to have that happen for these kids that were in suburban New Jersey. But yeah, and it's been a wonderful experience training these children. And then Melissa, who's now my partner at the studio, was one of the 10-year-old children that came in the early days and started training, and grew up in the actor studio and trained in voice and filmmaking, and auditioned and got into many colleges and chose Syracuse for her BFA, I think, or BA acting, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Which are all online. We are now PeachCraft Virtual because the actors you have to see the face. You can't be in the actor studio with your masks on. So I became inspired by James Cameron, who wrote and directed the Titanic. His wife is in Los Angeles, and she's a friend of mine, and she has a school that they created called Muse Virtual. And it is now a franchise school, and it's around the world, and it's very successful. And all of the students are online, and they are learning really well, and they're adapting to that circumstance. And we brought the actor studio online March 8th, where all the colleges and acting studios around the world were online. And what's really, the kids bonded immediately. They absolutely loved the program. And we're doing all the classical acting technique, monologue, improvisation, actors' movement, sketch comedy, scene work, scene study, psychological gesture work, script analysis. And the kids, this will be our 2nd year, and we have a wait list for some of the classes, and they're mostly full. We do have some openings for the Wednesday and the Saturday class at the moment. But it's been extremely successful, and some of the kids have actually booked some big roles and are gaining access to their theater productions, and which are unfortunately online as well, some of them. But the courses are master level, junior series, and then adults. And Melissa, do you want to add? Teachers come in. Some of the little kids will say, "This is my therapy." They just love to come in and be free and express themselves And I say to them, you can say anything you want in this class. You have complete freedom. You can own your freedom. We have a mantra, actually. And the first thing we say is, I'm an actor. I was born to create. I go through life in a creative way. I invent things that are different and new. I own my freedom. Artists do not hurt anyone. I am an actor. And they also want the very best for each other, because sometimes, you'll have someone go off the side and say something off the cuff which might be hurtful, and then they have to come back around. And it's building the ensemble of creatives so that we are one source of energy, creating throughout the entire time for the workshops. So
And I
yeah,
think
it's just